Well guys, we're back from a vacation. Look at that, we got blue skies here. Some of the fires have been, I don't know if, I know the Ukiah fire is pretty well under control, because I know the two cats that we had down there got demoed, and I know the Hers fire is not as bad as it was. It's getting under control, it sounds like. So things are getting a little better around here. But anyway, we're back, and I'm coming over here to look at this 6415 John Deere that's got a, I did the right front seal last winter on the hub. I guess now the left side's leaking. I guess we should have just done both sides while we were here. There's that motor I worked on there. There's the 7520, and this should be the 6415 right here. Alright, you turkeys can get out. Boy, it is dusty. Where's the door at? Wow. These cowboys are tough on stuff. Oh yeah, it's leaking. Starting to get the wheel wet. It's actually the stub, where the stub shaft comes into the axle comes into the hub. The actual hub seal itself is not leaking, it's the axle seal where it goes into the hub. This is the side that I did last winter. She looks pretty good. Okay, I know what I need. I get a hold of Deere and get them ordered. I gotta go look at a 2294 case now that's got a transmission oil pressure light that keeps coming on. Come on, guys. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Holy shit, that one's got a broke glass on it too. I just put a door glass on the other one. I wonder if he wants me to do this one too. This one here, this is Kubota M126X. How many of these Kubotas do they got? This is a 126, the other one's a 135. This one's got a broke glass on it too. I just put one in here. That's what I did this morning. Let's see here. It's got a dead battery, so we can't even. I'll have to get a hold of him. I know he told me to fix the blower motor on another one, but I think they got two 135s. Come on, guys. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Come on. Daisy, dude, come on. Go. Come on. Come on, big man. Come on. Come on, buddy, let's go. Get in there. Get in there. She always has to do her little loop before she gets in. Okay. Well, I got an 850B. One of the cats that came back from the Ukiah fire needs some work on it. The tilt on the blade doesn't work. It's got a bad leak. The air conditioner quit working on him while he was on the fire, and he says it was about killed him. What else? There was something else. Oh, I don't know if he wants me to do the grousers, but the grousers are worn down on it, and we got a bunch of stock, and we're just going to build them back up rather than buying a set of pads. So we got a lot of work to do. I got a 96 Ford Power Stroke sitting at the shop that today I'm gonna go pull the transmission out and tear it completely apart. It's an E40D. And then we've got a 2008 Power Stroke coming that's got a problem with the fuel sensor on the high pressure pump. And so yeah, we got plenty of stuff to do. Anyways, so yeah, I gotta go look at this 2294 case and see what I've got for problems on it. So I'll be back with you shortly. I would say that this pressure switch is bad. Just barely touched it and it broke off on me. This thing out of here. Check our turbo pressure. Oh. Darn it. Definitely in the dirt here. Seven 16th inch and tighten that up. Come here, get over here. Come on. Come on. Come here. Dude, come here. Come here. Quit staring at me. Come here. Get over here. Come on. Dude, come here. Come here, knucklehead. Come on. Standing there looking at me. Her squirrel over there, but it's right by the road. Come on. Okay, let me get it. See what our turbo pressure is actually. Two turbos over there. Listen to the damn thing I tell them. This old tractor actually had radar on it. Okay. Open the door. That light shouldn't come on because we got that unplugged. That's just fine. Go wide open throttle. Okay, it's the pressure switch. It's bad. Come on, guys. Yeah, 'cause I just barely barely touched that thing, and it came in two on me. Okay.
go.
Duke, Duke.
Dookie, dookie, dookie. bumper. Crazy Daisy. Crazy.
So who owns that right now?
Winchester. That's what's funny. During the tour thing, we asked the tour guide. Well, I didn't ask him. Some other guy asked the tour guide who owns this, and he goes, "Well, we can't disclose that information." I pulled my phone out and Googled it, and it said Winchester Corporation owns it.
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, it's like it's secret information.
Yeah.
You know? Whatever, dude. Yeah, it's Winchester. Winchester Investment Group or something like that. Yeah, she thought all the ghosts from the Winchester rifles were she thought all the ghosts from the Winchester rifles, that's what was, and all that shit. I'm not real politically correct, so I just kind of looked at my wife and said, I think the old gal was fucking nuts.
Yeah.
She had a bunch of money. When William Winchester died, they gave her $20 million. That's what they tell you there. That I guess like $20 million back then was worth. I don't know. They gave the figures on it, but it's worth a lot of fucking money now.
Yeah.
But anyway, she took that $20 million and went out there and just kept adding rooms, building shit, and just being a real lunatic.
Yeah.
They had a movie about her.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Pretty new movie.
Okay, let's see if we can do this.
Daisy, she ain't much help. Well, guys, we're driving this JCB 541 Agri loader. Me and Marco just put a hub seal in it. What a pain in the ass these are to put a hub seal in. The way they got the bearings pressed onto the spindle. If I knew they were like that, I would have bought my bearing heater. But I'm running it down the road. The first thing is to check for leaks. The second thing is when this thing gets warmed up, they said it won't start after they shut it off. And then if they put a set of jumper cables on the batteries and it's charging, I already checked it, it's charging 14.2 volts. But if they put a set of jumper cables on the batteries, then it starts. Okay, I don't know how many gears does this thing have. Must be high gear right there. We'll drive it down here a ways and see what our hub looks like. Make sure that we don't have any leaks. Yeah, I didn't have any other choice. I don't know, we were thinking about getting a bucket of hot water and throwing the bearings in it and see if we could get them to slide on there, but I got my air hammer and hit it on the inner race and they went in, but it was just a pain in the ass. Definitely not set up like a tractor hub. You don't have to do that. And in the ring gear, where it goes on the spindle, it was doing the same thing. It was like, my gosh, boy, they got everything pressed onto this. It's just the way it is. Everybody's got different ways of doing things. These are good machines, though. I really like them. It just seems like they can be kind of a pain in the butt to work on, though. Sometimes, I'll be honest with you. The way the engine is on them, crammed. I mean, it's crammed in there, man. But actually, I mean, they're a nice machine. The hydraulics are really smooth and quick, and most loaders that you get on, they're not. I mean, there's a couple of these telehandlers around here. There's, granted, the one that I ran the other day was an older cat telehandler, was quite a bit older, but you get on that one and get on this one, it's a night and day difference. I mean, that old cat loader was just so slow. The hydraulics, this thing here is just lightning fast compared to that thing. Here a couple of weeks ago and that windshield wasn't busted. He must have had a bell. He must have had a bell fall off or something and hit the window. They load all their big bells with this thing. They've been waiting for me for a while, a couple of weeks now, to do this hub seal. It's just the timing of the whole thing, you know. What do they got the beds made here for? I wonder what are they putting in here. Kind of late to be putting in stuff now, isn't it? The season's almost over. Got guys out here pulling tie. That's the outfit I work on a lot of John Deere tractors for here. I don't know, they got pipe out in the field like they're getting ready to bed this up too. They're doing it in the fall, but look over here, guys. Those are raspberries. All raspberries. They got a pile of them out there. Pretty wide diversity of things that get grown in this little valley. I mean, there's onions, there's carrots, there's raspberries, strawberries, alfalfa hay, timothy hay. I mean, there's a wide variety of things growing in this little valley. It's pretty versatile. But the problem is the growing season. If the growing season's pretty short, I mean, you got a good 4 months to grow something, and that's about all you got. I mean, 5 months maybe. 5 months is about what you got, really. Everybody starts working ground in March. They plant in April. So you got April, May, June, July, August, September. Yeah, you got 5-6 months. About 6 months, to be honest with you. That's about what you got. Some winters seem like they come on sooner than others, and it might cut you back to 5. I mean, I've seen snow on the ground in September, to where you couldn't do anything and you couldn't get anything out of the ground. And the ground was freezing up on you too before that. Okay, let's slow down here and let's get out of this thing and see what we got. Make sure my hub seal's not leaking on me. Okay, looks like we're good to go on that part of it anyway. Well, let's drive it back and we'll shut it off. If you leave it for a little bit, he says it won't start again. Shut the door and hit myself in the ass. I'm about to shove myself through the window. The other loader, they've got 2 of these. The other one's the one I did the power shift on. This is the newer one. I think this one's a 2013. The other one's like an 08. Let's see here. This one's got their gear selection there. There's first. Third. Never drove one of these much. I'm always working on them, but really don't have to work on them very often, and they use the hell out of this thing. got a few features that the 08 I didn't see on there. It's got a little angle gauge here, and then it's got an angle for the on the boom. And the other one, the power shift, you shift it right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. You twist that knob on this shuttle lever. This one here, you change your speeds with these two buttons here. This is down shift, that's up shift. What the hell does this button here do? Like a, I don't know what the hell that does. This is a 54170 Agri, I think. Pretty nice machine though. Yeah, we got to look at the headlights on it too. The headlights are not right on it. It's these two in the front. They'll only come on high beam if you go flash to pass. So they won't go on high beams the other way. I think the multifunction switch is haywire on it. Well, I'm probably gonna do a little testing on that and see if that works. See if we can figure that out. Well, I'll be back with you here shortly when I get back and we'll see if we can figure this starting problem out. Here we are on the Stinger Haystacker 6500. Marco says this thing, the compressor keeps locking up, and they bought another compressor, but I don't feel anything binding up when I turn the clutch, which is turning the compressor. That belt's pretty damn loose. Let's tighten the belt up and we'll try it. What are you two monkeys doing, huh? Alright, what do we got? Like a 17mm, looking like something like that. I'm gonna get parts for that one tractor over there this morning. That gal, she never called me back on that charge pressure switch for that old 2294 case. I need to give her a call and ask her what the deal is. And get the ball rolling on that, and they need the tractors. Just go like that right there. Got lucky mid-hill. This is on the compressors. It's got about 15 different bolts you gotta take loose so you can. I don't know, man, this thing ain't shouldered bolts. They got a smaller head on them than that does. Which I thought were 14 more or 15, they're not, though. Okay. Size of these things back in here. The ones you can't see. No, I can hate getting on these air tents and shit with my knees anymore. That is what it is, huh? Ah, that was a funny bone. That wasn't so funny. It's a wonderful spot, isn't it? Get my hand around that. Marco went out to drive that loader some more. I got back and shut it off, and it starts right up every time. That's what happens. Mechanic shows up, and the son of a gun won't act up. He's gonna go drive it and try to get it a little warm, or get it warmed up some more. See if it'll act up again. Go figure, huh? long screwdriver maybe on. See if we can get it wedged up in there somewhere to get that belt tighter. And then we'll fire it up and turn the air conditioner on, see what it does. Okay, where are we gonna go with this? It's pretty damn loose. It'd be nice if something would work out like that. I got that overflow valve ordered for fuel injection for that MX M175 case. It'll be here tomorrow. Cab or something on the step. Hey guys, let's try this thing, huh? Alright. Ignition key. Air conditioner. Turn it on cold. Good engine here, 8.3 Cummins, common rail, good motor. This is the year you wanted right here. No EGR, none of that bullshit. I don't think this one has an EGR valve, no. Look at the other side. Pretty sure it's a non-EGR, it's just a common rail. It's a runner. Got a wastegated turbo, but yeah, there's no EGR valve or nothing. This is one to have right here. Man, them wires. Something's been chewing on them or they got hot. Kind of thinking he bought a compressor for no reason. All it was the belt was loose. I put this compressor on a couple years ago. Couldn't imagine it being out already, you know? Is it blowing cold? Oh yeah, well, we'll take a nap in here. Give her some throttle there. Oh, that's nice. I can take a nap in here and be just fine. That's Got a little buddy seat in here and everything. I'm sure the new Stinger's probably got the Tier 4 engines on them and all that junk. Those would be real easy to delete though. There's nobody watching these. You know, that's the thing with this emission stuff. They're passing all these laws, but there's just no way they could enforce all that stuff. I mean, especially on all these farmers, they don't. How in the hell are they gonna know? Well, that's bullshit if they would know, but how in the hell are they gonna know where all these tractors are at and where they're going? And they're always being put on a truck and being moved, especially in this part of the country where these big farmers have got stuff clear down in San Joaquin Valley and the Central Valley, and they'll bring them clear up here, and they're going all over the place. There's no way they can keep track of those. These are nice machines though. They got an Allison automatic in them. 8.3 Cummins. I think that's a 3000 series Allison automatic. I've had that thing apart before too on this thing. Let's see what it's doing now. A couple years ago I changed this valve block. This valve block got cracked internally. Yeah, it was this one. That one's original. But this valve block here, it cracked it. Took about 10 hours to figure out where in the hell was going on. Some of the functions weren't working. We found out it was cracked inside. Fucking aluminum. There's anything wrong with this thing. Well guys, we're heading home. That JCB loader had a Iskra starter in it. Long story short, I went over, as you saw, I was working on the Stinger hay stacker, and Marco went and drove it seemed like this JCB loader wanted to mess up when it was hot and warmed up, and not when, you know, it seemed like it didn't do it when it was cold, and which is kind of odd. It must build a lot of heat right by that starter. But anyway, he was driving around trying to make it act up again, and he parked it back over there by the shop and came over there and told me, hey, it won't start, let's go look at it. So we went over there, and so I had him go and hold it in the start position, and I back probed the signal wire going into the starter, and I only had 7 volts on it, and I thought, huh. So I unplugged it while he had it in the start position, and then I checked the voltage, and I had battery voltage there. So I said, huh. So I plugged it back in, and I heard it go click. And then I knew the solenoid was bad. The pull-in windings were bad in that solenoid, and pulling too much voltage. They were probably burned or something in there. But that's what's been doing that. So if you ever get one of them starters anyway, we had Jesus went in there and they had another starter on the shelf, and that's the problem there with some of them guys. They've had a couple mechanics over the years, and for some reason some bonehead threw a starter on the shelf that they had pulled out of the other loader, the one that's at the feedlot, and we didn't know if it was good or not. And I mean, Jesus says, I don't know if it's good, I really don't. Somebody threw it on the shelf. I don't know why they would throw it back on the shelf. Why would you throw a bad starter on the shelf where the parts are, you know, the good parts are? But so we tried it, and it drug really hard. So we pulled it back out. I actually tested it on the bench, and I noticed when I tested it on the bench that it didn't seem like it was spinning as fast as the other one was, you know. I said, man, I don't know, let's try it. It ain't too bad to change it. So we stuck it in there, and it would boom, boom, boom. It just, the motor, the windings in the motor or something were bad. So ended up taking the solenoid off the one and sticking on the other one and sticking that one back in there. So we took the solenoid that was bad with the pull-in windings off the original one and took it off and put it on the one that had took it off and put the solenoid from the bad motor on the other one and swapped them out and put it back in there, and we got it to where they can load trucks tomorrow. But they're going to take that other starter in and have it rebuilt, so that way we got a good starter on the shelf. And I was telling them guys, I said, well, I used to have a guy that I used to work for years ago when I was in the strawberry nursery business. We had a guy there that I won't name him, but he would take bad parts and throw them on the shelves in the parts van. And there's nothing worse than, especially when you're digging strawberry plants at night and you've got 20 machines, and he's the front one with like a generator or something, or an alternator on the cat that went out, and you go to get one off the shelf and come back and put it in, and the son of a bitch or the starter or whatever is no good, and you're making 3 trips because somebody put an old part that wasn't any good back on the shelf. So it can be a little bit frustrating. But anyway, we got them going. So I was just told my wife, says I got to get some videos made here. I got a lot of people asking me about them, so that ain't much of a repair video, but it's something. We got some pretty good projects coming up. That 7430, we got it coming up pretty soon. It's gonna have to be torn completely apart to find out something's coming apart and filling up that low spot where the mechanical front wheel drive box is with metal. And when you back up and reverse, it goes clunk, 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 clunk. And if you go forward and you start turning, it starts making a noise back in the ass end of the tractor. So I'm thinking there's something wrong with the rear end on it if it's, when you're turning going forward. I mean, I can't think of any. And it was making that noise with the front drive line out and with the mechanical front wheel drive engaged or disengaged. But I had torn it apart a second time after I'd put it together, because I test drove that tractor after I got the mechanical front wheel drive clutch pack rebuilt, and I noticed that noise, and I thought maybe I had done something wrong, and I had torn that mechanical front wheel drive clutch pack back out of there, and there was metal back in the bottom of that box, and I tore that whole clutch pack back apart and couldn't find anything wrong with it. And that's when I told them, I said, there's something else going on in this tractor. And their foreman, he was being pretty pushy, and even their head mechanic goes, he said, to hell with him. He said, just put it back together. If they need it that bad, they can run it till it blows up. That's the way they don't want to give you the time to diagnose it properly and find out where the noise is coming from. So we stuck it back together, and they drove it a day, and then the foreman goes, hey, this thing's making a noise. You're right. Well, I'm not lying to you, man. I'm not trying to mislead you. Maybe you thought, I don't know what his thinking was, but anyways, they were trying to, it had duals on it, and they were pulling a disc or something with it. So they decided they needed the tractor so bad that, those, we call them people movers or bed machines. They pick the blooms off the strawberry plants. They lay on their bellies out there and pick the blooms off the plants. So I talked to the head mechanic over there at the nursery, and I said, if you need the tractor that bad, why don't you just take them duals off? You might have to dual up another 7430. They got 3 or 4 of them, and put it on the bed machine, because they've got IVTs. They only do you can crawl faster than those tractors move out there. They just barely move. They idle along all day long with those people movers. I said, just put it on that, and you ain't gonna hardly ever hurt it moving that slow. So that's what they've been doing with it for the last couple weeks, and it's about to be done, they said. And he called me today. He says he think they got another day or 2 of that, and they're gonna pull that tractor back over here. And then I've got to go down to Wairika here maybe tomorrow. I don't know, maybe tomorrow, and I got to work on that John Deere 850B. And I don't know if he wants me to do the grousers and build the grousers up, or if he's going to have that welding shop do it. But I got to do the air conditioner. It's got a leak. The tilt blade doesn't work. There's a couple other things. He said he's got a list for me. And then apparently that road grader, that Champion road grader that I worked on, it's the same guy. Apparently that Champion road grader got out. We got it, you know, we fixed what we could and then cleaned everything up so it'd pass inspection and get on the fire. And the leaks that we didn't have time, because that one valve block that you saw me working on, I got the spool leaks fixed, but the sections where the valve stacks are, the sections there, the O-rings in between the sections are seeping too. They must be hard and brittle. So I told him, I said, that's a pretty big job taking all them lines and cables. I said, I just don't want to run into a situation to where you can't get it on the fire because we run into a part or break something getting it apart, or you know how Murphy's Law works. So we decided to brake clean it and clean it up and get it to pass inspection and get it on the fire. Well, anyway, he got it down there to the fire, and they're still letting it run, but apparently it's puking oil out of the transmission somewhere now. So that's another thing we'll be looking at in the near future, but as soon as it gets done on the fire. I don't know, the fire's must have got mostly under control because I haven't been called back out on it, and the skies are blue, so yay! I kind of wonder about that fire thing. You know, that car fire, that was a bad one. But some of these other fires are out in the middle of nowhere in the woods. You know, I hate to admit it, but there's too much money involved in the fire thing, even though I made good money off of it. But realistically looking at it, sometimes I think those guys don't want to put them out because they're making too much. You know, I mean that, I'm not gonna lie, them two cats, I found out what that two cats on that Ukiah fire, he was there for 10 days and they made $70,000 for 10 days. So when you're making that kind of money, I mean, do you really want it to go out that bad? I don't know. Maybe it's just my thought. It's a good money maker, so yeah, I'm curious what your thoughts are on it. Anyways, guys, I'll start pumping out more videos, is what the whole point of that long spill was. But anyways, we'll talk to you next time.